Hi, this is Bethany Gagné, founder of the Albany Peace Project, and today I'm here having a very nice time with Mary Beth McCue.
Hi.
Who is a registered dietitian,
Yeah.
a nutritionist in functional medicine. Did I get that right?
Functional medicine, functional nutrition.
Oh, okay.
I'm a doctor, so
Okay.
we do the functional nutrition title.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we were just talking a little bit before about how the stress response can make it really difficult for people to lose weight. Can you
Yes.
talk about that?
Yeah, there's a few different angles to that. One of them is that your body goes into this fight or flight mode, and it tries to protect itself when it's stressed out because it historically thinks it's in trouble. And so things sort of shut down, if you will. So it conserves on energy, and it conserves on using energy that's in the body. And so that could be one reason why it could be difficult to access fat stores to utilize as energy to lose weight. The other thing we were talking about was the adrenal glands and the fight or flight organ, and how that regulates the hormones DHEA and cortisol, which is this is an area that we think about a lot in the practice because people are at levels of stress that are impacting their biochemical process of balancing the body.
Right.
And so you probably can refer to, some people that are watching this, refer to some of the commercials that you've seen on cortisol levels and irregular cortisol patterns throughout the day that can hold on to extra fat stores or increase fat stores, which is definitely the case. So there's a biochemical component, there's a behavioral component, there's a spiritual component, there's an emotional, there's different, angles to the practice that we're able to take in when we first sit down with someone, and we spend a good hour and a half, I do anyways, an hour and a half with people. I've gone 2 to 3 hours with some people on the first time.
Wow.
In terms of our consultation.
And that's kind of the difference of functional medicine, right? Is that it's the idea of looking at the history of the individual. Is that right or not?
Yes.
I mean, I know there's always histories, but
Right.
functional medicine is different. It has a unique angle, doesn't it?
Exactly. It looks at the unique individual story. Our teachers say, what is the story going on with this patient? And I have my patients actually write to me if they want anything they want me to know about their story, in addition to the forms that I give them. But like we were talking about, I could have 5 diabetics or 5 people that are overweight, 5 people that have chronic fatigue, and there's 5 different stories that are going on in each individual's bodies, in their life, at an emotional, spiritual level, at a physical level. And so what I love about the practice is that we're able to really identify cause and effect. Why is this person having difficulty with this symptom?
Right.
What is the symptom?
Right.
Why are they having difficulty with it? And how is it connected to other things that are going on in the body that I see either in the conversation or in the assessment or in labs? A lot of times I don't even need to look at the labs, but we eventually do if they have them. And so it's looking at the cause and effect. And one of the things that people really say is it's very life-changing. We really get to drill it down, if you will.
Right. And I know you also do movement, right? And
Yes.
mindful movement with it as well. Which
Yes.
is not, obviously you don't think,
Yes.
nutritionists be talking about mindful movement so
Right.
much, right?
Well, stress is one of the areas of functional medicine and nutrition that we're trained in to assess and discuss with clients, because really, as we were talking about, it really trumps how your cells respond to therapy. If those cells are really stressed, then they're not going to respond well to the whole foods, plant-based foods, low inflammation, whatever we might be doing type of diet conversation or food change conversation, or vitamin D therapy if we go further in supplementation or whatever that might be. So we really need to look at the stress component. And I forgot what your question was there.
About movement.
Oh, the movement. So meditative movement therapy was something that I was sharing with you that we're learning a lot right now in my current certification in integrative and functional nutrition. And that could be anything from dance to breathing to meditation, Tai Chi, Qigong.
So this idea of mindful movement, what's the difference between that versus dance?
You know, they call it MMT, meditative movement therapy.
Mm-hmm.
And there are many things that are meditative movement therapy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the first time that I'm hearing the term through this certification.
Yeah, right, through right.
And they're
That's
doing, doing an example of it with every one of our instructors.
Wow.
So we have, like a 2-hour, webinar,
Mm-hmm.
physicians teaching us, and everybody that's teaching us does an example.
Right.
We might see a view on an ocean of waves for a half hour, for 30 seconds or a minute. That's an example that somebody could do in a PowerPoint program.
Huh.
So there's many things that I've written down. One of the things that I've been doing for a long time, for 30 years, is the meditation with groups and with individuals. And happily got my certification through you recently. So I offer that at the beginning of every session. I think I've had one person in 30 years say that they weren't interested. I've had really young children on the floor in their second grade classrooms doing it on their backs, and
Nice.
teachers saying, I've never seen them ever still. So I think it's really natural for us. When I see people coming in and I know their story even before they come in because I see their paperwork, I can tell it's so rewarding in some sense, but I'm really happy for them that they are relaxing, that they're in a state where their body is becoming aware of what's going on right now in this moment, and they're going to be able to focus on themselves while they're with me.
Right,
And
right.
I want them also to be able to freely access where it is that they want to go.
So it's kind of interesting. So the idea of getting people really present with their mind in the room so they're sitting with you. Because how many times are people, this is what our culture is doing. We're all doing this now, right? So I'll go teach somewhere and their minds are out the door before it ends, So so our minds are always kind of a few steps ahead. So when they come to work with you, you're really making sure their mind is parked as well.
Right.
So that you'll have some very deep conversation and get the information that hopefully will come up, right, that is necessary.
Absolutely. And it helps me help them. It helps me meet them where they're at.
Yeah.
And to help them establish their goals.
Right.
Because it's not necessarily what I think they should do.
Right.
I'm helping them see what the priorities are and looking at options.
Right.
But it's really bringing them where they are on their path, because they may not know.
Yeah,
It's always something to me that we're always trying to assess.
Right.
And it's wonderful. People love it. We do it about 15 minutes.
So there's one other question I want to say before we close, and that is, because I know it's kind of a big answer, but can you briefly address what you were telling me about how functional medicine came out of the Genome Project,
Sure.
and about how the environment in our body determines how our genes express.
Right. It's actually the environment outside as well as inside.
Right.
So the Human Genome Project was a study that indicated that our genes are not a problem. They're all imperfect. What's significant is the phenotype of the gene, which is the expression. So it's the symptom. It's someone has chronic fatigue, someone has depression. That phenotype is expressing that right now. That's their weakest link on the chain. And we're finding that, with the study, it indicated that lifestyle is going to help us change the expression, change the symptomology, change the phenotype. There's a saying in functional medicine, the genes are the loaded gun, and food is the, I forget it.
Kind of the trigger or something?
Yes,
or
that pulls the trigger.
Right, the finger pulls the trigger.
Yes, the food pulls the trigger.
Right,
A little
interesting.
nervous.
Right.
But so the Human Genome Project was awesome in showing us that stress and nutrition can literally, wash on the cells literally one way or the other. Either express disease or dysfunction or symptomology, or resolve it.
Right.
There's many things in food and nutrition and stress or lack of stress that will affect the genes different ways and the cells different ways.
And you've been a walking example of that, right?
Yes.
Because you had 20 diagnoses.
I did.
And you started working with functional medicine. That's
Yes.
how you were drawn to it?
Yes, back in 2000.
Wow.
Yes.
And they resolved?
And they've resolved. I'm still taking a little bit more metals out of my body because it was all probably from heavy metal toxicity, which is quite large now these days in our base of functional medicine practice. But it's advanced and it's come a long ways and it's helping a lot of people. So yeah, I was told after 6 months of great testing that there was nothing wrong, but I really wasn't able to function. I had no vitality.
Wow.
And I was a very, very active person at that time.
Right,
instantly.
right. Wow.
So yeah, it's life changing.
Yeah, and that's what you
awesome.
said. A lot of your clients, they say it's life changing. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So thank you so much. I just
Thanks
really
for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And thank you for what you're doing.
Oh, thanks.
You know, it's amazing.
So I was just kind of grateful. I really wanted to bring out that, whole idea of stress and, and how it does impact. It's not just what we eat. It's the environment that we're kind of eating it in, right?
Exactly. And in fact, that's the first thing that I will address.
Mm-hmm.
If it's pretty evident, and if people are having problems with some symptoms that they talk to me about that definitely are linked in with stress.
Yeah.
We'll have that conversation pretty much up front. And it's nice. It's much nicer to have after some meditation.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right. It's my dream. Everybody meditating all the time, in different places, at different times,
gets one of these.
and make it like a culturally acceptable thing. That when we meditate, we get into a clear mind, we get into the higher executive function of the brain, and we become smarter, wiser, kinder. More beautiful, more successful. I mean, it's just a no-brainer to
Younger?
me. So yeah, younger's good. All right. Well, thank you all so much for participating, and thank you again. And we'll have Mary Beth some contact information underneath here. Thanks.
Thank you. Have a great day.